And gentlemen, my name is Chris. This is my channel. We love comics, and all right. In bed, and I want to share some things. And I think communication is always key to the few people that appreciate and watch my channel. Because first of all, I read every comment, and I would say for the most part, they were all very positive. I would say 98% of them. You'll always have somebody that's at least questionable, but hey, that's the internet for you. What are you going to do? I want to thank everybody, first off, that left the positive comments and their support and things like that. And I'm going to go over a few things and answer one of the comments, which I'm not going to assume is negative or hatred. It could be just a legit question. Maybe just answered in a very direct way. But before I do, there is some good news, and it's thanks to one of my subscribers, and they want to be anonymous, and I respect that. That's why I messaged them first, because I wanted to make sure he or she was okay with me, because I wanted to do a specific shout out to this person, but I also want to make sure if that's okay first. And they have chosen that they want to remain anonymous, and that's perfectly fine, and I respect that. But I want to give a shout out. I'll just say initials RB. I mean, the person will know who they are. They are my sole Patreon member on We Love Comics. I don't mention my Patreon very often, hardly ever at all. But it is in the description, and I know most people don't check descriptions, and that's perfectly fine. But they actually were my only Patreon member for a long time, which was greatly appreciated. And I'm not going to say the amount that they were giving because that's irrelevant, but they just increased it and sent me a message to be able to allow me to pay for the monthly PGX to continue. I am forever grateful for the people that are kind. Now, when I say grateful to people that are kind, I'm not just talking about RB. I'm talking about the people also that left the nice supportive messages. Because to me, and this is why I do this on my channel, I know my channel is never going to reach the glory days of the beginnings, and I'm perfectly fine with that. A lot of backstabbers back then, a lot of betrayers, a lot of people that used me. So I'm very glad to have a niche audience, which is small, but amazing people. Nothing but kindness. And I'll take quality over quantity any day. And if you haven't read the comments, I highly suggest you do, and you could see that I'm not just like every YouTube channel that's just saying, oh, I love all my subscribers. Because to be honest, I don't love them all. There's a few that have subscribed to me that for whatever reason watch when they don't really want to, other than just to hate, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled. That's, you know, the First Amendment allows you the right, because every speech should be important, not just what you love to hear or what you agree with. So thanks to this one subscriber, I will be able to get into the PGX for as long as this person is generous, or I can get my situation back on track. So, and by the way, this person bought from me from my auction. I just wanted to say I'm actually on my way to go mail out your comic. They actually did a payment plan from my auction about 2 months ago, and they just sent the last payment last night. And I am a person that unless some situation happens or, you know, it's a Sunday, I always mail it either the day they pay or the day after, and well secured. So well, I'm not going to say anything about what it is because the person may do an unboxing video, so I don't want to give that away. But they got a really good comic that's on the rise, and I'm very glad it's going to this individual. To answer one of the comments, and this is where, you know, some people can shut off or whatever because they may not want to hear it or they've heard it before. One of the comments was, you know, why don't you get a job? Now, that could either be a legitimate question and somebody's asking, well, why don't you? Because maybe they're new to my channel and haven't heard some of the things I've discussed, especially recently. It could have been a hate comment, but I'm going to assume it's a legit question. Well, let me give some situations. There's a lot of things I've shared, and there's also a lot of things I haven't shared and will not share. And that is involving my health. There's a lot of stuff about my health I'm not going to disclose here because that's personal. It's between my wife and I as far as what's happening to my body and how long I will be able to make videos and things like that. Reason I can't really work a physical job is many reasons. I should legitimately be on disability, but I really don't want government help. I don't want government assistance. I don't want to be tied to somebody like a government that does the things that they're doing, especially nowadays. I don't want to be connected to that. The Sicilian Italian in me and my Sicilian grandfather raised me as you just put up with it, you take it, you try and hide it as much as possible, and you just be a man and do your work. I did that for as long as I could. I'll share some of the stuff that I have. Since I was a child, since I was an infant, I had bronchitis where I've almost died from walking pneumonia more times than I can count at this point. My cervical spine in my neck curves the opposite way, which over the years has gotten to the point of being a massage therapist, owning my own business for about 20 years, a DJ for so long, I was constantly looking down. So it's gotten it to the point where standing up to wash dishes, I can have severe migraines. I also suffer from vertigo, and when I feed the 20 stray cats twice a day, every day, if I kneel down for more than 30 seconds trying to stand up, especially in Florida heat, I almost lose consciousness and get severely dizzy. So standing up is actually a problem for me at this point. I also have a bad knee that I suffered when I was a teenager, when I used to do linoleum floors. And stupid, when you're young, you're just young and stupid thinking you could do anything. I would be working on hardwood floors, putting down tiles and other kitchen floorings without knee pads. So it destroyed my knee to the point where there are days where, if you have knee problems, you probably know what I'm talking about, but there'll be nonstop burning sensation for 24 hours straight, nonstop. It's literally, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, the torture. I have a broken big toe from having a situation where something smashed into it, making it hard to balance. And these are just the regular chronic things that I deal with every day, and it gets worse as I get older. The eyesight is disappearing, the hearing is disappearing, and there are other health problems, like I said, I'm not going to get into. But we'll just say I'm trying as many natural products and spices and herbs and things to extend the life period. So, not only that, feeding the 19 to 20 stray cats is the only thing that I have in my life, other than my wife, of course, which is the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, she's supporting me in every way possible. The most loving, caring, loyal, amazing, beautiful person inside and out that I could ever imagine. How she stays with me, it blows my mind, but she's nothing but supportive and loving, and I am in love with her now even more than the first day I met her. And the stray cats are family to me. There are neighbors who wish them dead. As a matter of fact, there was a neighbor that I can't officially prove. Sorry. But one neighbor shot and killed one of the stray cats with the BB gun. It was the nicest cat out of everyone that I've ever encountered in my life. Because I would hold these cats every day. I would pet them. I would stay with them when I fed them. And the reason I can't prove it is because I didn't see it happen. But the people threatened to shoot these wild animals, and they're not wild, but stray cats. They threatened to shoot them with a BB gun. And lo and behold, the cat I found under my house dead, basically bled to death, which killed me. Because that thing, if I would have known it was there, I would have taken it to the vet and tried to save its life. And it basically bled out. But it had a small, tiny little BB gun hole right near its heart. So for me to get a regular 9-to-5 job, even if I wanted to, with all my physical ailments, and I just kind of ignored the fact that I could pass out at any moment from vertigo and getting dizzy and the back problems with the migraines, if I just ignored all that and just sucked up the pain, I can't leave them because no one else will care for them. And it may seem like no big deal to other people, but I am very much into saving animals' lives, to the point where I don't go on vacations because one of my cats, my inside cat, Shy, I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but he has a thyroid problem. And I have to give him medication twice a day at a specific time each day. Otherwise, if you know anything about a bad thyroid, you'll die from it. He just turned 15 this year. So I have sacrificed much of my life for these cats. And like I said, most people think, oh, why bother? It's not worth it. It's worth it to me. There's so much cruelty and evil and neglect in this world. It makes me feel good to go out every day to help. Like I said, between 19 and 20 cats. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 cats that'll show up, but not every day. But on average, it's 19. Twice a day, every day. I stay out there, rain or shine, whether it's 95 degrees out with dramatic heat from the humidity, whether there's a hurricane storm, I'm out there. Because no one else will. And I put myself in their position. And I've spent the majority of my money with my wife and I basically just on cat food. I go through about 60 cans of wet cat food every 3 days to 4 days, which I don't mind, because you know what? I'm doing something positive. I'm doing something, that makes me happy. Whether anybody else would do it, when anybody else agrees with it, that means nothing to me, because it's what I do that matters. So at 10:30 to 12:30 in the morning, I'm making all the food, going outside, feeding the cats, bringing the food back, cleaning the dishes, putting them away. And the same thing from 7:30 to about 9. And 9:30 morning and night, I have to give Shy, my 15-year-old cat, his thyroid medicine. So my life is not exactly the regular life. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, I owned my own businesses, which, by the way, COVID basically destroyed them. I had put thousands and thousands of dollars into my flea market for that to be shut down, and it's currently shut down. And the only other flea market is about a 40-minute drive away, and they're asking, as of the last time I checked, which was 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, about quadruple, if not more, for a bad spot at their flea market. And I haven't heard any good things about this flea market, so it's not even worth it. I had a massage business when I was in New York. That got destroyed from COVID, to the point where it's been so long I would have to go back to school to renew my license, which is just not worth it. My DJ business almost got destroyed. And again, I put more into that business than anything else. Over the years, I've probably spent $60,000 to $70,000 in upgraded equipment, repairing things, buying quality stuff. My system was top notch. It still is. Buying new laptops over the years, new programs, literally easily 50 grand and up. And that's basically gone at this point because so many bars and so many places are being shut down because of the economy. You know, that's Ridenomics for you. So if you've been watching my videos this year, and I've said it many times, so this is nothing new, the only way I was able to buy the comics that I've been buying is because I was selling my stocks, selling my Bitcoins, which now I have 70 cents worth of Bitcoin left. Actually, no, because I have two different things with Bitcoins. So I have about $2 on one of them and 70 cents on the other. So basically about $3 worth of Bitcoins, which is basically useless because with the fees that they charge you, you know, they're just basically worthless. So I've spent all of my other kinds of investments to be able to make content and to help my wife at least get the cat food and pay some of my own bills that I have. And every 6 months, because we have a lot rent, because we don't have an actual house, we moved here, and that's why I'm trying not to sell my comics, my big boy comics, as I like to call them, because I'm trying to save it to get out of this house that is a temporary house that's not going to last too much longer, especially if there's a hurricane that ever comes our way, to get our forever home. Now, I've already had to sell most of my stocks and like 99% of my Bitcoins. So that option is now off the table. It's gone. So the PGX thing and the EGS thing were the only things I was really looking forward to. And I want to make it perfectly clear, PGX didn't stop it. They didn't even mention that. They just said they checked over their finances, and basically there weren't many people that were using the codes, which, by the way, to be fair, which I didn't say to them, you know, it's a one-time code, so people could buy from them multiple times, and they wouldn't know it was from me because they can only use that code once. But I'm not one of those people that will complain about stuff. They said that they were losing money on doing the things for me. I have to accept that. And all they said was, do you mind if you pay $50 to get the books graded? And then plus it costs about $20 to $22, depending on the box that I ship it in, to get it sent out. Now, to most people, that's no big deal. But when you don't have the income coming anymore and you cannot work because you are physically unable to, and I don't like to talk about this stuff too much, and that's why maybe people don't know, because I hide it very well. My wife forgets sometimes the physical pain I'm in on an hourly, daily, lifetime basis, and it's only getting worse as I get older. In November, I turned 54, so I'm 1 year away from technically being a senior citizen. Plus, moving to Florida, which I don't regret. I absolutely love Florida. To me, it's like spending a vacation every day I walk out of the house. But because of the whole Rovid situation, made no friends. And my wife is an introvert, so she likes to stay at home, so she doesn't go out, she doesn't drink, neither of us drink, neither of us smoke, neither of us party. We like to spend each other's time together, so it doesn't lead to going out and social skills. Now, somebody recommended in a comment I go fishing or hunting. Well, I take care of animals, I don't kill them. I'm not here to judge anybody that does something like that. It's just not my thing. So fishing, I feel the same way. I basically put myself in their perspective, and I don't ever want to have that happen to me. So that's just my thing. Again, I don't judge other people that do the things that they do. I'm just sharing my opinion. I was also, for the past 2 years or so, when I lost everything, well, all my businesses and all the money that I put into them, I was fighting severe depression on top of it, because when you have severe headaches and migraines to the point where you have to lay down and sleep for 24 hours, and you have your knee to the point where you cannot bend your leg and it's constantly burning nonstop for a day straight, and you cannot breathe properly, and you get dizzy when you stand, it will affect your ability to stay positive. Although I try my damnedest to do that. Even yesterday when I made that video, I have no and had no ill will for PGX. I totally respected their decision. I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did, but thanks to my one subscriber, and again, shout out to RB, they're putting $50 a month into my PayPal account from my Patreon to finance it for me, and sent an email saying that it is a worthwhile investment because they said, and many people have said this, that my advice has helped improve their collection to the point where they've made a lot of money. And I always work with people. Like I say, I've had people buy my auctions, send me cash. The video I did yesterday, one of the people sent cash for their book, and it wasn't a $20 book. And they got their comics right away every time. I appreciate the people who put their trust in me. Because not for nothing, I'm a stranger on the internet. And if you see a lot of people on the internet, they lie, they cheat, they take advantage, they misrepresent. So I could understand anybody being hesitant to do anything. And to put the trust the way some people do in me is so amazing. I don't ever want to let them down. I don't ever want them to be disappointed. So that's basically the story, and hopefully answers the question to a person that may not even watch this video and may never care to even hear a response, and they just wanted to leave a snarky comment, which is possible. But I hope that answers the question. And if that person just put a legitimate question, which I do say it is, leave in the comments if this answers why I can't just get a real job, quote unquote. Many people will not understand. Many people will hate, whatever. I cannot control, as they say, haters gonna hate. You cannot change the mind of a person that has hatred in their heart or jealousy in their heart, or they have a state of mind where they have no ability to think in alternative perspectives. My channel is now dedicated to maybe the 20 to 30 people who give a darn about what this nobody small-time YouTuber has to say and what they want to do. I'm okay with that. I don't have 10,000 subscribers, even though the number says that. I legitimately have, let's say, 200 subscribers. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Quality over quantity. And most people will never watch this. This is for the very few who will. My ultra power viewers and my power viewers. Because they appreciate this stuff. They like my not run-of-the-mill routine. They like the fact that I'm trying to be honest and share my points. They like the fact that I will give tips and helpful information without charging you a fee for it. You don't have to buy my book. You don't have to even join my Patreon. And I've said on numerous occasions, my Patreon does not have exclusive content because I do not believe anyone should have to pay for the information that I can give you freely. My Patreon is for people who want to help support my channel. And like I said, RB is my only Patreon member. And they went from, let's just say, less than $50 a month to now $50 a month. And did it to help me be able to continue doing the PGX. And I love this human being to death. I hope there are the few who will understand my situation. And like I said, just the stuff I'm talking about is not all that is physically wrong with me. I will be shocked if I live 10 more years. I will be shocked. To waste it at working at McDonald's, like this person suggested, or the other person that replied with me being an Uber driver, which I have yet to be able to fix my brakes. Because at one point, see, I'm afraid that not only does it need the brakes, it might need rotors. And that's a $1,500 job easily. Probably more these days with all rents and everything going up. Which, by the way, we just got a message in the mail yesterday that they raised our lot rent again, another $50 a month. to the point where we're now, since we've moved in, we're paying about $200 to $300 a month extra than what we originally signed up for. But I had some money to get my brakes fixed, but then I was running low on cat food, so I picked the cats over me. The good thing is I hardly drive, so hey, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to pick and choose your priorities, especially in this situation. I'm going to give some advice to people right now, some free advice that you don't have to buy a book, you don't have to spend money on my Patreon account for. If you don't have physical assets at this point and you're just keeping your fiat currency in the bank, you are doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion. And in my opinion, if it was me, I would change every fiat note, in other words, every dollar, every euro, every yuan, every rupee, every ruble, into anything physical that you can get your hands on, whether it be comics or precious metals or real estate. You need something tangible, because in the next year or so, the economy may make the Great Depression look like a small little time party. The beautiful thing about getting information before some things happen is you can prepare for it and not have to worry about when it happens. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Smart people pay attention to what's going on in the world. Naive people dance the night away, ignoring it, saying, I'll worry about it when it comes. Remember how much people were spending on toilet paper from 2020 to about 2022, when there were shortages all around the country. I saw people on eBay spending $1,500 for a 36-pack of toilet paper, bidding multiple bids to get to that. Here in Florida, we have a hurricane season, and we watch the news when there are alerts of hurricanes because we want to see where the hurricane's going to go. Now, is that something enjoyable? It sure isn't. Is it possibly scary? It sure can be, but just imagine if we decided to not watch the news because we didn't want to hear the scariness and the hurricane went straight over our house and we didn't know and we didn't prepare. So I can understand why most people are afraid to hear the news and don't want to deal with it because it's too negative. Well, just imagine if you didn't watch the news during hurricane or tornado or earthquake season, whatever, rabbit season. Put in the comments if you understand that reference. But just imagine if you didn't watch the news to learn where something is so you can get out of its way. The economy is like nature. When it fails, it is not stoppable. But you can get out of its way. And the only way to get out of its way is to know where it's going to be, or at least have an idea of where it's going to be and when it's going to be. The difference between a storm and an economy is news people will tell you the truth about a storm. They'll exaggerate it, but they'll tell you the truth about the storm. In the economy, governments and banks and other people will lie through their teeth to make as much money as they can off of the people until they can't do it anymore. And then when the people have to sell everything they own at pennies on the dollar, those people that didn't tell you about it ahead of time will buy everything up and add more millions to their millions. So there's some free advice that you don't have to buy a book about. You don't have to watch a 20-hour video from somebody else's channel, and you don't have to watch it on their Patreon spending $100 a month. I give it to you free. Whether you take that advice or not and listen to what I'm trying to tell you, that's up to you. So I have to, well, I don't have to. I get to mail this comic to RB. I hope they do a live unboxing. I'm not going to say whether they have a YouTube channel or not. I'm not going to say what the comic is, but I wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being a beacon of light in a time of many shadows and much darkness. Light will always outshine darkness. So find as much light and connect yourself with as much light as possible. And that's why, even though I was sad yesterday, I knew something was going to happen that was going to make everything okay. You know, sometimes we have our nose just above the water, but it's a heck of a lot better than having your nose underwater. If you have comics like me and have to sell some to be able to pay bills, It may be sad, and there's many comics I've had to sell over the years, especially recently, that I miss and probably may never be able to replace. But just imagine if I didn't have them. Thanks for watching. If you want to leave a comment, great. If you want to hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, by all means, please do. And thanks for being somebody that took the time to watch this video. Whether you agree with it or not, I'll leave it up to you. Whether you like it or not, that's your own interpretation. Whether you believe it or not, I could care less. I have nothing to prove to somebody that doesn't believe a word that I'm saying. I wouldn't wish my life, as far as my health is concerned, on any negative troll that's bashed me or threatened me over the years or betrayed me. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I'm surprised I can handle it. And as many times I wanted to not handle it. And I'll let you take that interpretation any way you want. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I believe everything happens for a reason. And if you can learn from your pain, good things can come out of it. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe it. And just find some peace and light in your life. And if you have one good person or one caring animal or one loving spouse or family member, it's better than having none. Because one caring person who loves you will outshine a million who hate you. And that's what the haters will never, ever understand. And I hope one day they find that as well. Because angry people tend to have a reason to be angry. And it's not because they're so loved and so lucky that everything in their life is going wonderful. So I actually feel sorry for those that come here to just spew hatred. Because that means something in their life has gotten them that way. Because I don't go out of my way to hurt people. So for somebody to come here to try and hurt me and make up lies and stories when I've done nothing to them, at least not intentionally, means that their life is pretty bad. So instead of hating our haters, let's pray for them. So I'm going to say right now, I hope they find some kind of religion, some kind of God, some kind of peace. I hope they find some kind of happiness in their life, whether it be a friend or a partner or better luck in their lives. And one day you find happiness in your life and let go of your anger. And that's when you could realize that somebody like me can go through the things they're going through and still be able to be positive and find some kind of light in this darkness. And if that helps one person who watches this, then it was worth it. And I would go through the pain that I'm going through and the ridicule that I've gone through and the negativity I've gone through again and again. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Have a wonderful day, everybody.